I was born in Trinidad. I lived there until I was about 7.5, 8 years old. Then in my family, we ended up finally in Washington, D.C. We were Trinidadian immigrants in an American country, so that affected everything from the language you spoke at the house to food you'd eat to our cultural upbringings and perspectives on the world, and most importantly for me, my music. It's so diverse, going from Trinidad to D.C. As I got older, I went to university, all that kind of thing. I studied architecture and worked as an architect for a while because that's what I thought I wanted to do. I realized eventually I wasn't really super happy with that and wanted to make a change. I got into music again. I was always into music since I was a kid. I played instruments. My parents made sure that I played instruments since I was a child as part of my good upbringing, When I got older, like most people do, you go to school and you start working and you start forgetting about music, and that's kind of what happened with me. I have a band or two here on the side. But things really took off with me with a few different projects, which ended up landing me in Europe with a potential deal with Sony Records. And then one thing led to the other. We had a lot of good successes in France, so we took it on the road. We went into Belgium, we went into Switzerland, I went and did a few shows in the UK, and then we came on tour and we passed through the Netherlands. I played some shows in Rotterdam, in Breda, Tilburg, the Paradiso in Amsterdam. We came up and did that one. And after that, I kind of really kind of fell in love with the Amsterdam culture. Big musical influences for me, key people have always been, it's like probably a top 3, if I had to say. It would probably be, in no particular order, Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix, and probably, I think we could say a close third to that might have been Radiohead. I was obsessed with them, I still am. So the album's called Fake News. A pretty obvious title, I think. The overall goal of the album is, I think right now society is overall emotionally taxed because of the overuse of social media, the abundance of bad news that we're like bombarded by from all sources where we never used to have those outlets before. You have it on your cell phone, on your TV, on the newspaper, everywhere. I mean, it's all over. And society is like stressed, tired, mentally tired. And as a result, I think we kind of close into ourselves so that we can kind of take care of our own selves. And as a result, communities start to degrade, and connections and human connections start to degrade. On top of that, we have this culture now where we have to be perfect. Social media and all that has made everything beautiful. With a swipe or a push of a button, we go from an ordinary scene to just this magical photo. And so we keep on having these perceptions of our life needing to be extraordinary, superhuman all the time. And I think that's been reinforced over and over and over again for millions and millions of people every day for the last 8, 9, 10 years. And it's created this phenomenon, I think, where people are just freaking tired, and we don't want to have to deal with people after that, after you keep up with all of that. And then we start to forget, because we don't keep up with people and we don't connect with people, what it's like to actually feel human. So the album is really about that. doing the album recording in Delft at Marmalade Studios. It's going to be with Sven Hammond and Roland Dirkse, my two producers. We're going to make an MP, a medium play. It's sort of a newish thing. I wish I invented it. I'm not the first guy that did. But I think the concept's really cool. Music that's just in sort of bite-sized amounts so that you get an idea of what it is. You can make an artistic statement. You know who I am as an artist. I like that format. It puts a challenge on me to make sure that all aspects of the art is represented with less time to work with. So efficiency becomes like one of the most important factors for the development. But man, with guys like this, it's a fun process.
Met Markus gaan we echt het hele productietraject in. Dus wat we doen is, hij komt binnen met een nummer of met een bepaald een stapel aan ideeën. En we gaan zitten en sommige nummers waren echt al best af. Andere nummers bevatten veel te veel ideeën of vliegen van toonstuk naar dit en dat. Nou, in ieder geval, wat wij gaan doen is, we gaan met hem zitten. En dan gaan we eerst kijken hoe we die song helemaal kunnen optimaliseren.
Maybe we'll try, maybe, baby, at a white rendezvous. Maybe I do a little modulation on my vocal line a bit, but let's.
We kijken naar welk stuk past, wat is een goede overgang naar het refrein, werkt het refrein, hoe komt de tekst over.
Doen we vaak ook alleen maar met een akoestisch gitaartje, weet je wel, gewoon nog niet opnemen, niks, gewoon en zingen met z'n drieën, weet je wel, gewoon vibe uitproberen.
I gotta be me, gonna be so proud, gonna be so proud, gonna be so proud, yeah, so proud in
here. En dan als op een gegeven moment, als we eruit zijn en we hebben zoiets van, oké, dit is wat het gaat worden en we zijn alle drie enthousiast. Dan gaan de pannen op het vuur, spreekwoordelijk. Dan gaat de computer aan en dan gaan we loops zoeken, samples. En dan weten we eigenlijk ook wat er te doen staat. En dan is eigenlijk het opnemen en het produceren, is het uitvoeren van het plan wat je gemaakt hebt. Ja.
Little story.
Wanna be so proud.
I hear you.
Whatever.
Als je dat meepakt. Oké.
Life is back to end. And the lesson that I learned, how to play with fire, and that is the high life that I choose. Entertaining all the offers I can't refuse. It's a gonna be so proud. I'll say it out loud.
Oh God, the version you all know, it's just it's got less arrangement to it. It's more basic. This one's, I think, richer musically. It has better arrangements, stronger arrangements, stronger vocals, better recording, better microphone placement, better equipment. It's overall production-wise, it's nothing to do with the original, I think.
Gonna be so proud.
Yeah,
Gonna be so proud. 'Cause we
Hier, klep.
Oh ja.
Hier, klep.
gonna be so proud.
Hier weer doorgaan.
Today we finished one, the second one, which I'm really also happy with, is Freak Today. Really cool, quirky song. It was actually inspired by the US elections, and I was really worried when I saw how Trump was able to use his charisma, use his power, this sort of thing, to make an America that I think we haven't ever seen, actually, not for a really long time. So I get worried about that. And people who speak out, people who say, well, something's wrong here, they're marginalized, they're quickly marginalized, and he's making it a point to do that, you know, calling out the press, that sort of thing, and saying they're wrong, they spread fake news, that sort of thing.
So this is called a Roland stick, all right? Named after Roland Dirksen over there. All right, so we had this idea for this amazing sound that we wanted to get, but we couldn't quite find the instrument for it. So we kind of figured out. As I was going to the bathroom, by the way, just like 5 minutes ago, I found this thing on the floor. It must have been Providence, because it makes just the perfect sound that we need.
This song's more of really like, it's really a protest song, a political song, a song of empowerment to let you say, you know what, if you're considered to be a freak today, it's no problem, because that's not such a bad thing after all.
I'm a freak today. I'm a freak today, baby. I'm a freak today. I'm a freak today, baby. Protester, investor, just let me dream. Cause America ain't so great now, and you know what I mean. So we all look around, we staring into empty faces. Don't let your hearts be troubled, no, we will not be afraid. Feel so tired, I make you stop. Still up flying, but me not touch ground. Feel so tired, I make you stop.
My band has always been like a really, really key and integral factor to the success of this project. Started out with the Movers in France for all those die-hard fans and all that. Now we're working in Holland as well with these great musicians, Pat Webers from the Suriname, Pedro Benitez on the keys over from Cuba, Stefano de Smile over here, he's a local Dutchman, Doris Omen on guitar, Arne Broek on the bass. I mean, these guys have just always been there. They're solid, they're tight, they're dependable. They're not only phenomenal musicians, but they're just like really just awesome people. Yeah, enjoying going home. That's it's a fun song. It's it's actually a song about hitting a moment in your life where you realize that everything is just empty, and the things that you're doing, the way that you're doing something, and some things needs to change, or that's the way it feels sometimes. You know, I think everyone's had that point in their life where they're kind of like, yeah, the way that this is going, it's just something's gotta give, something's gotta change, and you know, and it's about like realizing that moment.
And then that we were all alone. I should look the other way.
For me personally, this is a personal song. I kind of realized it when I started thinking about how empty our exchanges are online, how it is that we have so many friends, but we have so little human contact, that sort of thing. Well, the lyrics kind of explain how that story goes, but it's just sort of my own impressions of how that all feels, how that all comes together, and you know what it's like coming to those kinds of life realizations in our modern context.
Cool is aan Markus is dat Markus altijd in de fik staat. Dat zeg ik al vaker over muzikanten waarmee ik graag werk. Als mensen in de fik staan, dat is aanstekelijk of zo. Het enthousiasme en de energie.
To
En zeker zijn enthousiasme maakt het echt een leuk team om te werken en om mee samen te werken en het tot een hele gave plaat te
hij is echt, hij is unstoppable en super, weet je wel, supercharged met positive energy.
Ja.
En dat is echt wel zijn geheime wapen.
Markus Mann is echt iemand die muziek voelt en zo ben ik zelf ook. En de frequentie aanvoelen van wat de muziek, wat mensen willen.
And the world kept stopping, the world kept stopping, and then we were all alone. And your heart lay stopping, your heart lay stopping.
Het heeft iets hip-hop, het heeft
Er zit hip-hop en rap
reggae in. En,
vergelijkbaar hier in Nederland misschien een beetje met Chef Special. Internationaal misschien een beetje met de Roots.
ja.
Omdat het heeft die hip-hop flavors, het heeft reggae flavors. Het heeft ook soul flavors. Het is een soort hip-hop, reggae, soul in de blender.
De titels moeten nog een beetje...
On the inside.
On the inside, ja, die groeft zo. Dat is
Ja,
zo chillen.
ja, ik moet zeggen, ik vind het heel moeilijk om een favoriet te noemen. Zeker nu, omdat het nog niet af is. Maar inderdaad, On the Inside, Desire vind ik ook heel gaaf. For You ook.
Dat wordt een gaaf plaatje.
Eigenlijk is het gewoon wordt een hele gave plaat. Een hele goede plaat. Het wordt echt een heel speciaal stukje muziek. Vette plaat. En ik denk dat heel veel mensen hier zich in kunnen vinden en hiervan kunnen gaan genieten.
I'm really freaking proud of this album, and I think it sounds pretty damn good. My goal was to create a crossover sound. God, I've seen so many goddamn places and listened to so much music, and so much of it's good, and I wanted to have all of that, as much of it at least, represented and focused and channeled into a sound. And I think we're on to something with creating that. Working with Sven and Roland really helped me figure that out. Put all those pieces together in some kind of order. So I'm really happy with that, and I think that's a good enough reason for people who want to listen to that album. It's just really good.
Luister naar de tekst, maar luister ook naar de muziek die daarbij hoort. En voel wat hij neer wil zetten.
Ga die plaat checken. Vet.
Take what nature gives and run. Must confess, already knew.
I love it too.
It's a perfect life you need, don't you? It's a lovely life you need, don't you?
The whole idea of fake news is, times are changing. Yeah, advancement's happening. Yes, we're becoming more technological. Yes, globalism is happening. And the world is going crazy about it because we're fucking terrified. Well, here's some fake news for you. It's okay to be terrified. It's okay to feel human. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to gloss over it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a picture-perfect, amazing, superhuman life. Just be you. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what fake news is all about.